I
Man,
was
like, where's the tradition of Petty being up there first for a very long time?
true. I forgot. But not only did I forget, I was looking for um Annalicia, but I don't know where she went. But
She's on her phone. She still
huh?
got the phone. She still has the computer phone situation, so she should be here soon.
Good. Because I want to ask her where is the camera that she said she would be on.
Oh yeah, I remember last week it was like specifically
How
next
come
week, you guys just wait.
speaking of last week or the week before, how come you were putting me up on the screen on all the intros when my hair was dusty and I was in the motel that didn't have good Wi-Fi or lighting, but now that I got a light, thank you. That's all I asked. That's all I asked. Let's appreciate real quick. Oh, it moves. Ooh. It moves. Panda in the background. Whiteboard on the wall back here. Yes. Bathroom door open. Don't look at me too hard. Yes. This is what's giving. This is what. Wait, eyebrows. Oh, yes, sir. Can I get a side? Earrings. Oh, okay. Let me take this sheet off. Look at me, cold. We don't have heat. I shouldn't have said that. Y'all can't see it, so y'all wouldn't have known. But it's
I
fine.
really like your hair, Petty. I think it looks
Thank,
nice.
thank you. I really appreciate that. That really makes me feel good.
Famous, why did you have to play the the violin?
The attempt to discredit black, and see, this is the problem with this space on YouTube. The attempt to discredit a black man who has something going for him. I'm
You're about
sorry.
to get violins again.
That just made me a little sad. But at the risk of sounding racist, can I talk about something that happened at work, an interaction between me and the white person at my job?
Sure.
Okay, let me pause. Is it racist to point out mannerisms that I believe white people have, at least in my experience?
In your observation and
In
experience.
my observation, yes. Okay, so if you're at work and you're just chilling, doing your work, I feel like you don't want to be interrupted, right? You kind of just want to be left to your work. Um, and to the extent that you're interrupted, I don't feel like you want to hear someone's life story. Like if you ask someone how their day is, I don't feel like you want to hear their life story, or if you're just saying hello or something. I don't understand why I know everything about what has been going on with my supervisor's divorce and his new babies on the way that came out a skin color that should be impossible based on what his and his wife's skin color. I don't understand how I know all of this information from good morning, how's everything going? Um, I don't know what is this a different when I ask black people, for example, good morning, how's everything going? It's good. When I ask white people, I now know about my supervisor's divorce and possibly a child that might not be his. So I just found that a little interesting. I learned a lot about my coworkers this week, and yeah, that's just yeah. I hope
See,
that
you
makes sense.
know, my view of this is much different from yours because and I was it's funny because I was actually talking about this same thing earlier with a coworker. Like I hate formalities and just things that people just say and do for no reason. Like if it's just like, "Hey, how you doing?" "I'm fine." Like what's the point? If you don't want to know how someone is doing, don't ask them.
No, okay,
If you ask that man how he was doing and he felt the need to tell
okay.
you
If
about
I
what was
say if I
going on,
say how you're doing and you're like, I'm not too well today, I feel like we can talk. But I was like, I didn't see you at work today. I spoke with my boss on the phone. I said, I didn't see you at work today. He said, yeah, my wife died. So I'm going to this funeral. I'm planning everything. And I feel like you just sucked me in. And then I didn't know what to say. Like after I was like, that's crazy. I mean,
you said what? Oh
that's crazy.
no.
That's tough. I mean, I hope everything's okay. Yeah, you take it easy. Like I have no clue. What do you even say to something like that? Like you saying I'm not doing too well today. I feel like my relationship with my coworkers is cordial. It's not like we're not about to do therapy on the phone. I kind of need the report in by 5, and that's why I called. I'm sorry
See,
about
then you just got to say hi and keep going. Once you start asking people how they're doing, you open it up to like maybe they're going to tell you, maybe they're just going to say good or whatever, but they might tell you. And the
Right.
thing is, I hate small talk. So if he started telling me, I'd be like, for real, what happened?
Wow, what happened? Did she like? I don't. Okay, I guess I'm still confused about how to continue a conversation like that. How do I get to? Are you gonna be able to send that report in still, or like,
How do you segue into the work part?
were y'all close, or you and your wife? Did you guys? But
Maybe they want to be friends. Maybe they want to be friends
so
or have a closer relationship.
since we're talking about a man and his woman, segue. I have some more dusty advice. Someone asked for advice, and since we don't give advice, we're going to not give advice. We're just going to look at what the person asked advice for. Um, Let me put it on the screen. Okay, this is literally the first thing that came up when I searched for dusty advice. So says my girlfriend, she's 32 and a female, makes over 400,000 a year, and she told me, 31 male, that if I don't make more money, that she would be settling for me, and my lack of ambition would be unattractive. Um, any thoughts so far before I go into this long text?
Well, I just saw the first line that says they've been together for 4 months. Like that just immediately popped out. I
Um,
mean,
so let's read a little bit more. My girlfriend and I have been together for 4 months. A bit about us. My girlfriend's an OBGYN. Her family's decently well off. Her dad's a physician. Her mom works as a professor. And she didn't go to private school, but she went to one of the top schools in New Jersey. I don't know. It feels like they wrote a lot that's not relevant. She went to a really, really fancy school. It looks like very prestigious. He works in public health consulting. Um, his mom is a teacher, his dad's in construction. So it sounds like her family's well off and his family is off. Um, we met each other through a dating app. Wait, let me pause because, okay, never mind. I was thinking about seeking arrangements. I've never found a $400,000 a year woman on Tinder. I haven't found her on Bumble. I haven't found her on Black. I haven't found her on Hinge. I haven't found her on Match.com. That's all. I don't use anything else. But met through a dating app, started dating. Initially, things were great. It was my girlfriend who was the one that pushed for us to be exclusive. And when we first got together, she had a lot of respect for me. When it came to money, too, I assumed she made more money than me. I knew doctors make a lot, but she would tell me a lot of times, oh, I have so much debt. When it comes to dates, we split probably 60-40, with me paying the larger share. But there were never things which she said she wanted to do that I was like, that's too much. But it started recently. When we were planning a trip to France, she tells me she has these points and wants to book business class. And I was like, wow, I'll just chill in economy. Even if I had the points, I would much rather use it for experiences than airplane ride. She then starts telling me that riding in comfort is something I should aspire towards. I should be more ambitious. This is when she asked how much I make. I told her that after bonus, I make 140,000. I asked how much she makes, and she said 410,000. After this is after working on average 36 hours a week. I asked how much debt she has. She said 200K, but she has over 300K in savings and in retirement amounts. She then tells me she doesn't mind, that she sees I have potential, and she says I should get an MBA and try to work at a place like McKinsey. For me, I'll be honest, I do want to earn more in life. I have friends that I want to start our own agency with, but the way my girlfriend was not in an aspirational way. I asked her, I'm like, if I was to stay where I am salary wise, would that be okay? And she tells me that she loves me and would be okay, but that she would be settling. I was very upset. And I told my girlfriend I need some space. I'm wondering if there's any point in us going forward. Initially, I liked the fact that we were a power couple. I thought, okay, sweet, we're able to have a comfortable life together and give our future kids a lot more of an enriching childhood. But now it's like I'm wondering if she will just look down on me and think she's settling. I don't know why he's wondering. She just told him. I don't want to waste time in a relationship that has an expiration date. At this point, is it best to just call it quits? Um, let's start with Kay. Tell me something, Kay. How do you feel about this?
So, they've been together only 4 months. I mean, I'm not saying you can't have strong feelings in 4 months, whatever, it depends. But they haven't been together very long. He makes pretty good money. I think, what did it say, 140K?
140K.
That's good money he makes. And it seems that because it's not like he's out here like completely broke or anything, and she's like, oh my goodness, you have no ambition. Like, obviously he's doing something in his life. He makes more than most people. So I think maybe they're just not a good fit. Like, I don't think this is an issue that's going to get better. I'm not sure if it's just because maybe she doesn't like him that much, or if it's
She said she loves him. She's just settling if he doesn't make more in the future, if he stays in his salary range.
I mean, but why would she? He's 31, right? Like, I don't think he's reached his salary ceiling at this point. He's still pretty young. So, like, just
31. Look, your knees start. Mine started getting out when I was 16.
It seems like something else is going on. I don't know. Maybe she just wants somebody who makes around the same as her, but I think that he should just let it go and find someone who is more interested in who he is as a person, because he makes good money. It's not like she would have to take care of him or anything. So I think they just have, like, I don't know.
Y'all keep saying to find someone that is interested in him as a person, who's more interested, but she never said she's not interested in him. She said she loves him. She sees that he has potential, and she doesn't mind. She just feels like if he stays where he is salary wise, she would be settling. So it has nothing to do with her attraction. Well, I guess it does have to do with attraction, but not like her not liking him as a person.
Well, the reason that I keep saying that is because he is only 31. She is a smart woman. She knows that if you're making an amount of money at 31, that's not like the height of your career. She knows that he's probably going to end up making more money as he gets older and further along in his career, whatever it is. And while she's allowed to have whatever preferences, standards, feelings that she has, I just think that if she's bringing that to him right now, I mean, that's fine, but maybe they're just not a good match.
I mean, how would you feel if it was a man making 400K and he said, I'm settling for a woman if she's only making 140,000?
I would literally say the exact same thing. I would say $140,000 is a lot of money for most people, at a salary, and maybe whoever's making less needs to find somebody that values more things about them than just how much money they're making, because 140K is not like a tiny amount of money for most people.
Okay, so how do you feel about...
Okay, what do you think? Because I feel like you're not, I don't know what you think. What do you think?
I feel like people should date within their income bracket. I don't think you should have to make the exact same amount of money as your partner, but I do think that's generally better. And while I don't think there would be like a big difference maybe between 400,000 and 500,000, I do think there's a big difference in quality of life between 100,000 and 500,000. Well, I think she can afford her own better quality of life. It sounds like she wants him to be able to afford a better quality of life. And he was like, I would rather spend the money on you know, I would rather save that money and spend it on the trip when we're there, on stuff on the trip. And that just feel like broke people talk to me, because she can get the fun trip and have a fun flight too. So like she said, she's settling. Wait, no, let's go back, let's go all the way back. When she said, if my partner says I'm settling for you, I feel like the relationship is over, because
that's what I'm saying. If you bring that up in 4 months, like, I'm settling if you're not going to do this or that, that means that you're already like 1 foot out the door. You already have that feeling. What is he supposed to do in the next 2 months to show that his, I mean, it just doesn't, I don't know. They don't seem like a good match. I'm not saying either of them are like bad people. I'm not saying she's a bad person or anything like that. She's entitled to her preferences, thoughts, beliefs, whatever. But yeah, I don't think they're a good match. They should just move on to different people.
do you think it's insulting for a partner to tell you that they're settling for you?
I think it is. I think it's insulting.
Okay.
Hey, I'm settling for you. Like, wow, what? Yes, that's insulting.
Do you remember? I think it was it the Popeye? I think it was like a dating coach, and he made a post about his. Well, he was engaged to a woman, and he was like, "You're not the prettiest. You're not the most intelligent woman, and you know, you're not.
I saw
You
that
don't have
post.
hair on your legs, and you're not really attractive at all. I mean, I could do so much better, but I don't need better. You're all right." It's kind of giving that to me. So Curry Up and Eat says that lady does not want to be cramped up in economy. Bring her warm peanuts and towels. Well, I'm flying Spirit, so I'm not gonna shame anybody who can afford economy. I assume they're not on Spirit, so already they have a leg up on me. I don't have a dog in this fight, unfortunately. So
Go ahead.
Find a woman making 60K and be an alpha. Let's not encourage people.
I see some comments like saying that, you know, 140K is not that much depending where you live and all that, which is very true, very true. But 140K is more than the vast majority of people on the planet, like more than almost everybody.
What does that mean to Rihanna? What is 140K to Rihanna? She's settling.
Right. I mean, you know, it can definitely be relative, you know, to a lot of different things, but it's not a small amount of money.
Apparently, it's not enough to fly. Most people. It's not enough to fly business. So 400K don't sound like she worried about nothing. She said, I got 200K in student debt and I got 300K in savings. So what? In a 400K salary. So that's just how I feel about it. She's just out earning him. Go, be free. Be free. Free yourself from economy. Fly business with someone who's making what they need to be making. I don't think either of them are wrong, by the way. I think he's right. I think she's wrong specifically for saying I'm settling for you. That's no. But just wanting someone who's equally yoked with you financially, I don't think that's bad. And him not. Let me see. Let me reread what he said. Him not being okay with what I take an issue because he was like, what if I just stayed here and never made more? I feel like now you are asking your partner to settle. Do people not, like, I feel like people generally have upwards mobility, like you said, when they're 31, even if they are making a lot of money. So why would you? Anyway, if my partner's not making money one day, I don't know. I might have to.
They're not wrong. Both of them, they're entitled to, you know, whatever. He's entitled to feel bad or whatever and feel like he wants to leave. She should be able to live whatever type of life she wants and find the person that can fit into that as best as possible. It just seems like they're not going to do this together. So I think it's better for them to just, you know, break up earlier than later, if that's what they're going to do.
Okay. Themis, any thoughts before I move on to the dust?
Love Latoya, welcome to the membership. I don't understand the conversation around money and like what that entails. Like, I feel like you set a standard, and if it's not there, it's not there. I actually do have a problem with her specifically here. And the reason is, if you cannot be with, or if you think you're settling for someone who makes 140K, then why are you dating them? And also, why are you telling them? Just like move on. I don't. I don't like the whole.
She didn't say she didn't say she can't be with him. She just said you're cool. I don't mind, but this is settling.
If you tell someone you're settling for them, that is absolutely disrespectful. And if he stays with her after she says that, even if you believe that to your core, the minute you say that to someone, if that person stays with you, they have no self esteem, in my opinion.
Oof. Okay. I don't disagree. With that being said, welcome, Love Latoya. I feel like I've seen that name before.
Mm.
Has everyone heard about Derrick Denia Jackson's wife? No,
No.
I will assume no. So,
No.
Wait, what? I feel like you got that. Derrick Jackson's wife, Denia.
Denia, yes. Um, well, I'm not going to play this because it has music in it that
But
I
you can play it without. You can play it without the sound. So while we talk, it can play without. Just don't hit the sound.
okay, let me see.
Um.
Okay. Um, so she says she seemingly addresses a divorce from Derrick Jackson in an Instagram post that says, when the man you love and have kids with destroys your souls with reckless decision making, you must choose to be alone with God. When your heart has been shattered and reshaped into something that doesn't quite feel normal inside your chest with mental, emotional, and soul pain that is unbearable, there is only one man who can fix it, and that is the Holy Spirit. When you're suffering so much from each next breath, that next breath seems excruciating, and you don't know how you can live without that man, while at the same time being angry with that man because he has crushed your spirit due to his unconscious purple pickle emoji. You have made an idol of that man, husband or not. If you have heard God hates divorce and are using that for strength and to work it out with a man who continuously chooses, you have made an idol of that man. You are people pleasing and you're out of order with the sight of God, married or not, and this requires repentance and renunciation. One thing God hates more than divorce is a woman with a destroyed soul, idolizing a man who does not have the power to destroy her soul and body in hellfire. Um, that is what she said. That is what she said.
I don't like the fact. So my problem with religion is always this. I'm also a Christian. I keep having to say that, but my problem with religion is that it literally can be used to justify anything. It can be used to justify her staying. It can be used to justify her leaving. Like I don't like that. That out of the way. I think more than her, I feel terrible about the response to her. Um, I Cynthia G uses the phrase black male worship as a sort of blanket tool to describe the ways in which black women and other people engage with black men, but particularly black women. And I think Sinji actually did a video on this. I think Yanni did a video. I watched a ton of video on this. Um, and if we understand the culture that creates a Danae, she might have a mental illness. She might be unstable. I don't know. I can't diagnose her. So I'm going to kind of sidestep that and assume we're dealing with a regular person in every way. Um, I don't understand the sort of vitriol towards her, even though she did come out and curse us using the Bible.
She put a curse on us.
Yeah, but if we accept that we live in a culture where, hey Anna,
Hello.
if we accept that we live in a culture where where women, black women specifically, are told to be a certain way and do a certain thing and show up in the world, how Danae shows up and fight for their marriages, and if you divorce, they'll tell you we don't care why you divorce. The divorce rate is this high. I could understand how this culture could create someone like Danae. And so I don't laugh at this. And I don't drag her in my head or publicly. Like there is nothing. I just feel sad. Like I just feel sad, and I understand how she could be who she is. Now she did record herself crying and shouting, and then posted it online. So that is always going to be cringe to me. But yeah, that's kind of my opinion. Like I feel bad for her. I think she's actually in love with this man. I don't know why. But it is what it is.
Okay, thoughts?
Oh, I thought Anna was about to. I thought Annalicia was going to jump in.
Yeah, Anna finna explain. Go ahead.
Yeah, I saw your face, and I felt like I know kind of what you're thinking, Annalicia. Maybe not, but yeah, I don't. I mean, I think the whole like social media and like all the attention that was around the whole cheating thing, and then like just their relationship and him, I think it just has taken a toll on her. Um, and hopefully she can find the support that she needs to get through this difficult time.
Wait, before we continue on that, one other thing, I hate hypocrisy, and this is why. Whatever, let me just go out and get canceled. I don't like hypocrisy. No, because the issue is there are anonymous like sites where you can put stories about what happened to you, and like a lot of women deal with a lot of stuff, worse stuff in their real life. And they stick around and they be there and they whatever. And to see everyone like online, like it could never be me, I don't believe you. Like based on what I'm seeing online and what the stories I'm telling, a lot of Black women are going through a lot worse. And it's like, how do you not have sympathy? Maybe it's like a mirror, and they're seeing themselves in there and they don't like it. But like, I believe a lot of people go through a lot worse. And because it's not publicized, they're pretending like they have it perfect. Sorry, my voice seems weak. I'm also exhausted. So I'm just putting that out there. I apologize. And then I'm done.
It's fine. I think you're right. I think you're right. And I think that part of the reason that that happens, and I don't even think it's something that people like consciously like try to do. I think that people like to be like, oh my goodness, it could never be me, because then they think that that gives the impression that they're this person who would never put up with certain things, and like they're a type of person who these things would never happen to, or whatever the case may be. But like you said, in real life, a lot of people go through a lot of things. They're just not publicized the way that the way their situation was. So yeah, I mean, I definitely, like I said, I hope she gets the support she needs. I'm sure it's hard for her, and hopefully she can get, if she needs some help or whatever, because anything that you're going through, just being like magnified and put on social media for everyone to talk about and see, it's like, sure, you could just turn the computer off or like close your phone or whatever. But I mean, that just weighs heavily on people. So yeah. Annalicia, what are your thoughts?
First of all, hello everybody. Hello to our beautiful panelists, and hello to our chat. I had some drama. I don't know if I should talk about it. I won't talk about it. Yeah.
You can talk about it.
No, so I had to change my like sort of bougie workstation, as it were. Maybe I'll talk about that later. But I want to apologize. I'm late. This is egregious. I'm very emotional. Like I'm hyper emotional right now. My emotions, everything's very heightened. And when I read that post, I think that it resonated with me on so many different levels. First, at the human level. The human level is just a person suffering, a person who is sort of in their most vulnerable time, just kind of beaten down. And so at the human level, my heart broke for her. And then as you go on and you continue reading, depending on, you know, the types of relationships you've been in your life, I'm not saying I've been with a Derrick, like someone like Derrick Jaxn, insofar as being cheated on chronically and having my life, you know, out in the public for public display and public consumption. I don't think most people, can handle what comes with being a public figure. And that's why I have to lend grace. That's why when people, like Fema said, when they say, oh, it can never be me, it probably couldn't be you, because you probably don't have the wherewithal and the gusto to actually put your entire life out there, because most people cannot do that. Like, most people truly will be beaten down. You just become emotionally bereft. You don't have it. Even I can say, like, that's not something that I think that I have the emotional, psychological bandwidth to do. But I think that it resonated with me because I've been in a relationship like that before, and it's so, like, I don't want to go on and on and on. It resonated with me. I cried a little bit, and if anyone has ever been privy to or exposed to something like a narcissistic abuse, and I know that people like, oh, it's a buzzword, the word's being overused. Oh, like, you have to be a professional. No, you don't. First of all, that's like, you don't have to be professional to be able to identify toxic behavior or whether it be narcissism or anything else. But anyone who's experienced narcissistic abuse will be able to identify with her, and you understand how difficult the road has been for her, even when things were good, even when to the world, you know, she looked like she had the perfect marriage relationship. Not really, but she has a really long road of healing ahead of her, and my heart breaks for her, and I really hope that she gets all the help that she needs. But yeah, these men, they're a destroyer of souls. They destroy souls, they destroy lives, and as a result, you really do, at the molecular level, you have to really start rebuilding yourself up. And I really hope that she's able to do that. Just rebuild, brick by brick, and find out who she is, so that she can, and find someone who will appreciate who she is and love her.
Thank you. So I think this is a interesting look at how we treat victims generally, especially women victims, when it comes to anything regarding intimate partner, anything. I remember reading a study on, it was something like the effects of gender of jurors on when it comes to essay cases and stuff like that. And I would have thought that women would be more likely to, in a case of SA, side with the victim, which is usually a woman statistically. But no, they usually had similar or worse results than the men, as far as they usually side with the aggressor, or they don't side with the victim. And one of the reasons why, I believe, was because of how people paint a picture in their head of what a victim looks like. I think you talked about it a little bit, Themis, when you were reviewing Destiny was talking to somebody, but she was like, do you think victims are really in there jumping up and down and partying and stuff like that? And I did see some of that in the comments here. They were like, okay, well, why did she stay? Why was she mad at us? Why wasn't she mad at him? And number one, I think it mentally does something to you when you're in, I'm not going to call it an abusive relationship. I don't know what their relationship is like. But when you are in something like that, I do believe it does something to you mentally. Y'all called it black male worship, but even outside of the black community, I think abuse victims tend to have like a mental happening in their head that makes them stay with the victim, to the point where I think it's something like they'll go back 7 times before they leave the final time. Not sure if I'm misquoting that. So I don't think people give the grace that should be given when it comes to someone who might be in a toxic or an abusive relationship. I didn't like that she put a curse on me, and that's something that I had to forgive her for. Um, I understand that in the new video, she no longer has the bonnet of salvation on. Maybe that was influencing why she decided to curse us, but it seems like she's coming back to repent. I was happy to see a lot of women in the comments who were calling out the people making fun of her and like, why are y'all mad that she's finding healing? Why are y'all mad that she's getting therapy? Why are y'all mad that she's praying for herself and improving? Um, so I liked that, and hopefully she does get some healing because no, no. Derrick is no.
Mike, my question, well, before Anna goes, my question is, why do we continue to promote marriage as a solution when this is the most common outcome? I think, go ahead, Anna, and then I'll respond to this, because I don't fully disagree with this idea. And people need to start analyzing the kinds of partnering, and not just say a blanket statement, just get married. Two degenerate people, Blueface and Krishan, married or not, they're going to be Blueface and Krishan. Like, it doesn't change that. Sorry, go ahead, Anna.
I just wanted to add to what Petty was saying, because I think it's easy, and I'm guilty of it too, but it's easy to look at people to kind of see their plight and to judge it from the outside looking in. What I think people really need to realize, so that, and in this way, I think that more grace can be offered, and probably we would probably offer it more as a baseline. People need to realize how destabilizing abusive relationships are. They change your they change your psyche. Like, if you were to look at it on a brain scan, the trauma that one experiences during an abusive relationship or a traumatic experience, it changes the structure of your brain. It changes the way that your brain is wired. So I think that people need to truly understand, whether that be through, doing your homework, taking a course, having just at the baseline, at the bare minimum, just compassion. But abuse changes, it changes who you are at the molecular level. So when we're seeing her with the bonnet, when we're seeing people behaving in ways that are, incongruent or just inconsistent with what we would do or understand, it's easy to look at that and be like, "Yo, this girl is mud. What's wrong with her?" But I think that on the flip side, that a case can be made that she truly is not mad, not crazy, but destabilized, dissociated, and psychologically there's damage. And I think that people just need to really be privy to that before we just be like, yo, whatever, bonnet. I don't remember what people were calling her. I can't remember. But I just remember when I saw that, I saw someone who was just disassociated from who she was. It was, for me, it was sad. It was sad then. It's sad now. I feel like there's a light at the end of the tunnel, because now it's a long journey, but at least she's begun the journey to healing. But yeah, it damages your mind. It changes the neurology. So I just want people to be mindful of that.
How do you guys respond to Sinji's question? There were some super chats that came in.
I don't think so. My understanding is that in other communities, marriage is an indicator of something. Marriage will improve your chances of not being a single mother, for example. Am I incorrect? Like, when it comes to what we think of as degeneracy, the rates tend to go down when you're married.
The thing is, but we don't have to, what the analysis we're doing statistically feels weird, because it's like, is it the people, there are certain kinds of people who get married. So is it the marriage that's making it better or not? But the research indicate that people who are married have better outcomes in terms of the children. But then when you break down the marriage, particularly in the Black community where divorce is almost imminent at this point. Like as soon as you get married, the on the other end it's like, well, there's probably going to be a divorce soon.
So
Um,
I mean, that's actually kind of where I was going. I think in other communities, like you said, a marriage-minded person might correlate with a type of person who has a strong feeling of providing or a strong sense of provisioning for his household and protecting his children. I think that might be true. And marriage is an indicator of something in other communities. I don't think it means much in the Black community, at least based on what I've read.
I mean, the way you just said it just killed, like, I'm not saying you're wrong because I actually agree with you. I don't think we value marriage, and it's not on one person. To value marriage is the both parties involved. So I don't think well, the study was that women beyond the wedding day don't really, after they've planned, the excitement just goes down. The work increases to the extent they move in at that point, and happiness and health decreases, where for men health increases but feeling they're trapped, all a psychological increase in feeling that they're trapped. But that doesn't stop them from going outside of the marriage. So I don't know how trapped they actually feel. I don't know.
I
I still promote marriage, by the way, and I'm gonna explain why. Sorry, go ahead.
no, because Themis, I think that we value marriage. I think that we place the wrong values on it. I think that our value system that we see marriage through, or the lens with which we see it through, I think that that lens is a little bit off. I think that
Oh, that's agreed.
and that's why Cynthia's right in her analysis. So because if you think that marriage should only provide a social status, or like the reason that marriages don't work by and large, it's incompatibility, it's finances. And if you look in the Black community, Black women are not marrying people who are their equal counterparts, right? Black women are not marrying mates who are going to have enough incompatible with them to really have the legs to go, or to go the distance. Like that's not happening. So that tells you what we value. We don't value longevity and compatibility and healthy marriages, because those are predictors of healthy marriages. We value just being married,
All
because
right, let me do
people,
this because my therapist did it to me as it relates to something else. So let me try to do it to you, both Kay and Annalicia, as it relates to Black men. Do you think, and obviously I'm not blaming Black women for marriage failing, it would be both people involved, but I do actually want to know if, true or not, if you come to terms with the idea that, quote, Black women are better than Black men, can you ever be with someone that you think you're better than fundamentally?
I think that if someone has that attitude, um, that it would be hard for them to find a partner, and maybe they shouldn't. Like, everyone doesn't need to get married. And if you think you're better than, like, all your potential partners, I mean, I guess regardless of race or whatever, if you think you're just better than men, or you're better than every whatever, I don't know. I just think that it would be hard to be with someone you feel like you're better than. Um, I think it's about finding someone that you work well with, instead of someone that you feel you're better than. I mean, maybe someone could think like that they're better than a particular group, but that there are exceptions to the rule. I don't know, but I definitely, yeah, I don't know. I don't know. But I don't think most people want to be with someone that I don't think most women want to be with someone they feel they're better than.
so I okay. This is gonna sound bad. Okay, so I agree with Kay. I agree with Kay to a degree. I think that I've been in I've been in relationships where and so for me it's not about necessarily feeling like I'm better than. Like if I feel like I'm better than you and I'm with you, that says more about me than it does about you. Like that's something's missing, I would say. But you can be in a relationship with someone who you know, you went to university together. Like I've gone to school with people and like I know I'm smarter than them, right? Like I know that beyond a reasonable doubt.
No. Wait, that's different. Because if we start itemizing the parts of who we are, then obviously I'm better than you in this, and you're better than me in that. But
how do you quantify it unless you're taking that sort of
yeah, no. But you can think you are fundamentally just better than some. Full disclosure, not going to say what. I was talking to my therapist, and I said, "Oh, blah blah blah. I'm doing this, but I'm better than that." And they looked at me and said, um, "I don't know why I said they." She looked at me and she said, "If you think you're better than that, you will never be happy doing that." Right? And so the idea just came to me when you were talking, Annalisa, when you were like, "Oh, they black women keep dating and marrying people they're better than." Why would they do that? Because that just seems like a fail. You're setting yourself up for failure if you fundamentally believe you're better than, and maybe you are. And I'm not saying maybe. I think um, in terms of academic achievement, socioeconomic movement, political movement, like, sure, you're doing better. But I'm thinking about it from like a partnership. Maybe like the divestors have something in that we
No,
need to think about. Because if you think you're better than a group of people, you shouldn't be with them, in my mind.
but that's why I'm saying you kind of, as people, we do take our own social, emotional, psychological inventory, right? Like every so often we check in with ourselves and we take inventory. We take stock of what we feel we're good at, what we need to improve in. And we inevitably do it with the people that we're around and the people that we're with. Like that's just a human quality. That's what we do. I just think that it's not necessarily about who's better. Like I don't think, oh, like I'm fundamentally better than this person. I think that there are things that one party can be fundamentally substantially better at, while there are deficits for that person, because no person is perfect. No person.
Wait. I feel like we're going, but my thing is, when you said it, I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm not saying you're right. I just want like an answer. Like, do you think people who, if you think, even if it's true, but also if it's not true, if you think I am better than that person without qualifying it, just like I am better than that person in the way that I said I'm better than this.
How would you qualify it?
Hmm?
How would you know you're better than someone unless you qualified it?
Yeah, it's a statement about your personhood being superior to that of someone else's personhood, which does make them incompatible.
Right.
Yeah, because y'all are talking about two different things. Like I get where you're coming from, Annalisa, because you're thinking about like individual things that someone may be better or worse at, or you know, with than another person. But I think Themis is talking about like a view, kind of like racism or something, or sexism, where you feel like you're inherently better than someone else, just generally speaking, not in terms of skills or anything like that, but your group or you are better than this group or them.
Murder Magic Trick, she ain't apologized for cursing us. She definitely didn't. Sorry, go ahead. I have to.
And sorry, the question is, should they be with them if they feel that way?
Mm-hmm.
No.
Better question. Better question. What does that say about you if you're with someone you think you're better than?
That's what I said. That's a different kind of problem, right? And there are some people who seek relationships out particularly for that dynamic, someone that they know Like they just know instinctively. Like I know that I'm a better human being than you, because and they leverage that. They leverage their sense of superior, I guess, personhood. So some people seek that out, which says everything about them. But yeah, that's what I was saying. Like, what does it say? It says more about the person who engages in those relationships than it does about their counterpart. What it says, I have to think about that. It says a lot, but
She's been a warrior for patriarchy and taken special joy in condemning other types of women. Is she deserving of support? Support, matriarchal support now. Um, okay, I'll go first. Yes. The reason I don't, not financial support, not physical support, not even being around there, but the support that says I don't have to ridicule her. This is Linnea. The reason is if we accept fundamentally that our society creates certain kinds of people and it's a maladaption and we recognize it, it is odd to me to recognize how hard one has to fight to break away from black male worship or whatever it is, right? If you believe that fundamentally and you care about people who look like you, to then not be able to give grace to someone who is still in it, even if they're harmful, I don't know what to say about that. Harmful people, you can like Danae, to the extent that they are not actually inflicting pain and harm in that way, you can withdraw support, but you don't have to go on the offensive. That's my opinion.
I saw her as someone who's very codependent, and when you're in a relationship with someone like a Derrick Jaxn, your life becomes Derrick Jaxn, his interests, his worldviews, his political leanings, his emotions, his thoughts, his desires. Those types of relationships with the power imbalance that tend to be pervaded by with emotional and psychological abuse. Women will do anything, and I don't want to justify it. I'm not going to justify it, because there are a lot of women who despite those things, and where abuse is present and a power dynamic is present, they still are firm in their beliefs, or they still are very rigid, or they have a strong sense of self. But there are women who do become entrenched in doing anything to make this person happy, because the sort of push and pull of the relationship, it just destroys them. So I always saw her in that way, and I never, like, I just kind of looked at it like not a sideshow, but like par for the course. Like, I charge it to the game, because she's going to come out as somebody else on the back end when this is all said and done, and she does she finds her footing. I don't think she would still identify with who she was back then. At least I would hope she would.
Thank you, Gia. Curry Up and Eat says, would the issue be that black women don't think they are better? In fact, they lower themselves to make it work. Petty? Or, okay.
I think so. I think that would be an issue. Well, I have a problem with people not dating on their level generally. So even if you don't think you're better just based off of maybe income, I still think it's good to date within your bracket. If you have a home, I feel like maybe you should date someone who can at least own a home. Y'all don't both have to have separate homes. That would be weird if you're married, but that's just how I feel. But yeah, that would be an issue for me. I have a friend who admitted she dates bums because she thinks they will appreciate her more. She does think she's better than them. She's very pretty and successful too.
This is actually, it could work in terms of what she's going for, but generally, if that bum sees himself as a bum, he's going to have a judgment on the type of people that will take him while he is in that state. Yanni said, don't date broke man. I'm not going to go that far, but I've been reading a lot of psychological like research around dating and mating, and there are people who, if they feel terrible about themselves, if they feel like they have low self-esteem, if they haven't made it yet, the reason why the starter wife phenomenon exists in large part outside of self-hatred is this idea that, well, if you want me when I was broke, that means that says something about the value in you. And so if I'm rich, you're not the person I want because I could have had you when you were broke. And then I'm reminded when 50 Cent and Lil Wayne, even though you don't look to them for anything, perfectly encapsulate that idea when they were talking about exotic women and they couldn't get them when they were broken in the hood.
And also, just to add to that, men who, particularly men with low self-esteem, and men who have a little bit more self-awareness about their failures as individuals, or whatever areas in their life that they do believe there are deficits in relationships, that sometimes can manifest in very abusive sort of outcomes, because I'm gonna be honest, most things in life are a cope. Most of us are just trying to cope to get through the day, to get through the week, to get through the year. So in the romantic and interpersonal relationships, the way that these dynamics can sometimes become problematic is they have an idea of their deficits, or their self-worth, and the areas in which it may not be that great, and as a way to compensate, they have to punch down on the person that they're with, and this is regardless of that person's status, right? Like, they could be on the same level, that person could be in a better position. Their goal to make themselves feel better, and to kind of justify the relationship in their mind, and cognitive dissonance, it's coping, but it's to punch down, and it's to engage in extremely problematic and abusive interactions. So there's a lot. In general, people with low self-esteem, in general, don't make for the best partners, as a general matter. So.
So you don't see a problem with the girl dating the bum? Themis, or anyone? The girl.
Wait, what do you mean?
The girl who says she's dating a bum because she thinks that he will
Oh
appreciate.
yeah, no, that's terrible. That says a lot about her own self-esteem.
Okay. MK.
I like what Annalicia was saying. Well, I don't know if that's what, but I think that with like not being able to take care of yourself, especially as a man, comes like a lot of low self-esteem and just negative feelings about oneself. So I think that would end up affecting the relationship a lot of the time. Some people start off broke together and build or whatever. I mean, I don't know. It just depends on the situation, but I would never judge someone for not wanting to date someone who can't even take care of themselves, because like that person probably isn't even happy or in a position to be in a healthy relationship.
By the way, interrupting because I do want to stop. I think we should go behind the stream and play that terrible music all the time until we get the likes up. I'm getting militant about this because I did a stream the other day and there were so many people on, and then when I came off, it was like 100 likes. I was like, all right, at least dislike the video then, because I can't tell, but at least dislike the video because that's not okay.
It's free. I don't understand. Do they not like us?
I also want to. So to the question, I think that when I look at relationships, especially as I get older, when I was younger, the variables were not the same as in terms of what I would look for and what I would consider, of paramount. Sorry. I think that I don't necessarily say, okay, I'm better than you, you're better than me. I just look at compatibility, right? Like, are we going to be compatible? Is there going to be longevity? Are you going to because there are some instances in which the areas in which I'm lacking, you kind of make up for, and in making up for it, you teach me and I strengthen those skills, and vice versa. I just think that if one, and I don't want to, like, I don't put people down who are in those positions. I can always recognize, like, listen, a person, every dog has its day. You might be down now. I don't know what's going to happen to you in the future. But I have to recognize the environment that you were in, your circumstances and all of those things. But again, will we be compatible in the end? Our worldviews, our belief systems, our values, our ethics, will they be congruent or parallel, to the extent that there will be longevity and, as a result, a better and more fulfilling relationship? So yeah, that's how I look at everything. It's like balance and compatibility.
Wait, I think you were on mute for the last part of what you said. Or no?
For me?
No, Anna.
I don't think so.
No, I just said compatibility and something else.
The man climbed the ladder of delusion to pretend and not compare, while the women put on blinders to overlook or lie to compensate. Period.
Yeah, but everyone watching, make sure to like the video. It's free. It only takes 5 seconds, and it's free. I like free stuff. I hope you guys do too.
Speaking of free stuff, well, it's not free. You have to have a membership. But did y'all see the Chris Rock comedy special?
I didn't see it. I heard about it. I heard about some comments. Well, what did you see? What would you like to ask us about?
Let's just start out with, did you think it was funny? If you saw it. Who saw it, first of all? Nobody?
Wait, saw what?
The Chris Rock Netflix.
Oh, I didn't see it. I watched excerpt. I'm not going to watch that foolishness.
Let me catch y'all out here supporting.
I'm not watching that. Like, I don't find him funny. I find him loud, obnoxious, and idiotic.
I watched it, but I didn't think it was funny. I saw a lot of people who were like, oh my goodness, this was amazing. And some people who were like, oh, it was horrible. But I don't know. It was just, I don't know. I feel like he maybe felt like he had to come do something after that slap situation. And he did speak about it like towards the end of it. Did y'all see about or hear about that part where he talked about it? No.
Explain it to me. I haven't heard anything about Chris Rock except he was talking about Jada still. How many years it's been? Like 17 years now since that slap, and he's still talking about Jada. So that's all I heard.
Only thing that I like about Chris Rock, and I'm not gonna lie, I watched it religiously, was everybody hates Chris. I know I don't like his comedy. I don't like his style, anything. I don't care for it. I don't engage with it. Everybody hates Chris. I love that show. That show is hilarious. I'm sorry.
I don't like people who seem to have to be punching someone in order to make money. Chris Rock's capitalizing on Black women's pain, from their hair to how they look to all of it. Like, it's kind of irritating, and like his like in the part that I watched. So obviously I'm not commenting on the entire thing, but when he's talking about Jada and Will, he was essentially dragging himself. At one point, he said, "The only reason you hit me is because you know you can beat me." And it's like, okay, like where's the punchline? I mean, you're the punch. Sorry, that was out of line. No one got it. All right, I'm good.
I did read a tweet that said the most Chris Rock thing about this Actually, let me put it on the screen. Let me not steal. Okay, so it says the most Chris Rock thing about all of this is him screaming that you don't fight in front of white people, but not even considering what it means to make jokes about a black woman in her hair in front of white people. I found that really interesting because I was upset that Will slapped him. I would have preferred something that was not physical, a defense that's not physical. But the idea of a black man insulting a black woman's hair, which is a sensitive topic. I think he said he made a documentary on black women's hair before, so he understands the nuance of something like this. And another black man defending his wife from an attack like this, and people being more upset at the defense than the fact that he's attacking black women. Well, regardless of if it's in front of white people, just the fact that he's attacking black women, I found it interesting. In the comments of that post I just showed, it seemed like mostly women who were like, why is he still talking about Jada? It's been years and years. Why does he keep doing this? And then he was talking about, what's her name? Meghan Markle, the woman, the royal woman. I don't know her name, but he was talking about her too. And everyone's like, why is he targeting biracial women and black women specifically? That seems a little weird. The men were in the comments mostly like, wow, y'all are so sensitive. Why do y'all want to cancel everybody these days? Which is a little weird. I still don't quite understand cancel culture. Apparently you make millions of dollars and people are upset at some of your work, and that means you're canceled. So I don't know if that's what canceling is. It doesn't really seem like much, so I wouldn't know why people are upset about it. But yeah.
The thing about Chris Rock for me is, first of all, I don't listen to his material, so I can't be outraged when I don't know what you're talking about. Like, that's I guess for me, point Anna. But the way that I see Chris Rock as someone who was a nerd growing up, got no play, got no love, probably was overlooked, was just an invisible. And I think that until he found like wealth and status, I don't think black women or any women really would have considered him as like anything more than just your local Poindexter. And I think sometimes especially with comedians, that can sometimes make their that's their arc, right? That's sometimes why they go into comedy. They were bullied, they had a rough childhood, and the way that they deal with it or the way that they manage it is through funny, right? They kind of laugh at themselves, they're self-deprecating. So I think that sometimes becomes people's comedic identity, and I think that's how it is that's how I see Chris Rock. I just see a Poindexter who got rich, and who really never let go of that, and probably can't, like, realistically, because as we noticed, I think it was last week, even Michael B. Jordan, like, the idea that, and I'm not saying this to be like harsh, but the idea that something happens or something is said to you in middle school and you carry that with you for the rest of your life. Like, I don't remember anything about middle school, and I got made fun of. I look like Mr. Burns, like I was a twig.
To be fair, though, with the Michael B. Jordan thing, he didn't remember from middle school. They brought it up on a podcast recently, and he heard. And I know a lot of people actually were like, "Oh my God, why would you?" I would bring it up. Not from middle school.
So independent of that, even men, even some women, like people who were picked on or something was said, my point is they carry it with them, and it kind of becomes a piece of fabric in the tapestry that is their life and identity. And that can sometimes be a good thing. It can make them stronger, and sometimes it can be a bad thing because they're resentful, they're defensive. But I think with Chris Rock specifically, I just think that no, sorry, I didn't like Will Smith. I don't care if it was a million white eyes watching. violence and me, absolutely not. No.
I believe what you do with what happens to you is what determine what kind of person you become. But I do think you should carry it. I just don't think you should generalize because I will. If you do, I am the accountability police. If you do something wrong to me, I will never forget it. I I will not generalize because that's unfair and it's wrong. But I won't forget it, and I won't forget you. If you harm me, I won't forget it. I no. So I don't have a problem with Michael B. Jordan saying, "Oh, I was the corny kid." Because one thing, I wouldn't bring it up if you're not playing in my face. Don't play. Don't sit there and smile with me. Talk about, "Oh, we go way back." No, we don't. I don't know. Who are you? Like, no. Absolutely not. But it was a kind of corny move he did, but I would do it. So period. Um, Wake Up Makeup Slay, get the like to 500 plus, and Themis will show his IG thirst trap. Outfit of the day. Period. I my Anywho, go ahead. Sorry.
All I know is we have 700 people watching, but only 375 likes. Somebody's lying. Somebody is lying.
Mhm. Haley, welcome to the membership. Yeah. So, what do you say, Prince Petty? It looks like you like to give questions, but you don't like to react to your questions.
Look, I didn't forgot what my question was. I have already mentally detached from anything involving Chris Rock and or Michael B. Jordan. But just know that I agree with you. It is corny. What you said you would do is corny, bringing something up from middle school just because somebody said, "Oh, we used to make fun of him."
Agreed.
They didn't even make fun of you currently. They just said, "We used to make fun of him in middle school."
Okay, so don't tell me we go. You're right. By the way, I'm not fighting. I think it's corny. It is actually a bit uncouth and outside of like polite society, like what people should do. Like especially if you're doing well. Like if you're doing well and you're promoting your movie and everything is going well for you, you don't have to. I will.
Okay.
I will. If you harm me, I will never forget it. Just know that I can forgive you. I can be your friend, but I will never forget it.
Okay. So if everyone has given their last thoughts on that, no? Okay. So we have one of two options. We can go on to a less dusty celebrity, Ciara, and we can talk about some backlash she's been getting, or I can introduce a surprise video that I didn't tell you guys about at all.
Well, I mean, we weren't listening to anything about anything, so that's fine. What happened with Ciara?
Okay, so Ciara apparently is getting dragged. Let me put it on the screen. She's getting dragged for her new song promoting independent girls who
Oh my
don't.
God, that is so old. I thought something else happened. Is that what we really do? Do it. We never talked about it apparently.
Yeah, I'm like, we didn't talk about that. Let's. Um, independent. She's making a song promoting independent girls who don't need no man. Ciara's been trending on Twitter for the past 48 hours. Over the weekend, she debuted a snip of her new song "For the Girls," which celebrates independent women who don't need a man and won't tolerate disrespect.
Look
Some
at
of
the
it,
date. Look at the date at the bottom of that.
February 20th.
Petty, you don't have a Reddit post in the clip?
Look, I offered y'all a surprise topic. Y'all said no.
But Themis didn't, Michael B. Jordan accused the wrong woman, and he should be dragged for that. Keep it in La La Land. Welcome. Yeah. How you going? If you're gonna come with receipts, better make sure it's the right person. But yeah, sorry. What do you think? Should Sarah be dragged for this? Is this hypocrisy?
Look, my if your parents are in a happy relationship, a happy marriage, and they tell you that you should make sure you're able to be independent, and you should celebrate being able to be independent, I don't see an issue with that. I don't see hypocrisy in that. That seems like a non-issue. I'm kind of confused with the backlash. Yeah, the backlash confused me. I don't understand what the
I
hubbub
think
is.
people are upset because in Sierra they see what they want. Some people, and I'm gonna throw my, I don't do this often, right? Because one thing I'm not about to do is defend Ciara as an artist. But Beyonce song All the Single Ladies. And the point at which Beyonce is singing All the Single Ladies, like so, um, we have to recognize that art is art, and it is just what it is. Now, as it relates to what you said, are we just going to pretend like Sierra wasn't successful? Well, let's use successful loosely. Sierra wasn't rich and famous before Russell. Like, Russell's obviously more successful than Sierra is in terms of finance. But Sierra could do this on her own. And the idea that you should have your own is something that I think is a good message. I don't actually care who the messenger is, and I don't think it's hypocrisy coming from Sierra. If she's saying, don't get married, don't fall for these men aren't good, there are no good men out there while being married to what she thinks is a good man, then I'm going to have an issue with that. But if she's telling you to be independent and have your own, that's not saying don't fall in love and get married.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think that people also forget. I mean, I don't know who wrote the song, but it probably wasn't her. Like, these are just songs that people are making. Whatever people think will be a hit is what's going to be put out. And just in terms of all the songs and just all the things that are promoted and talked about, I just don't think this thing is that big of a deal. I think some people just like to be mad at Ciara because they think that if you've ever dated someone quote unquote like Future, I don't know Future, but a Future type of person, that you should never deserve to be happy again. I think some people are just mad at Ciara because of that, and they're just looking for reasons to be mad at her because what of all the songs written, of all the songs on the radio or that we hear, there are so many
Y'all,
that have.
y'all gonna let these men gaslight y'all into hating people because ain't no reason people should be mad. It says she's worth 20, not 80 million. Sorry. I cut you off, Cam. So sorry. But
No, it's
like
fine. People are
I
just
don't
mad.
think yeah, and I think the outrage isn't coming from women genuinely. Maybe some women are just upset and jealous. I don't know. But I see a lot of men
Oh
speaking
yeah.
for women. And I'm like, nah, it feels like you just want to be mad and you want to say women are mad. Yeah. Like, oh my God, random topic, nothing to do with this. I hate a coward. And I gave grace to this man who had a network channel where people come on panel. You remember that guy that went viral for having 7 kids by 7 women
Mm.
and said he's not paying child support?
Hmm.
So there's this guy, a black guy, who brought him on the channel to talk to him about it. But instead of interviewing him and talking to him, he had an open panel where women came up to talk to the man. He is a coward. I don't know if you know who I'm talking, but I'm putting my hat in the ring right now. He's a coward. And I'm annoyed because while I didn't like him, I didn't like his network, I didn't like his show, I didn't like how he treat women. I did say it is good that when one man in the manosphere did something bad, I'm not going to say what because it's going to tell you who this is. He came out and he said, this is wrong, you are wrong, and he was holding that man accountable. And so it's very strange now to see him sidestep his duty and have women come in to fight his battle because he was too much not of a man to try and hold this man accountable. I'm not going to say who, I'm not going to say what video, but it is what it is.
Mm.
The guy, he does not have dreads. He's bald headed.
Thank you for
Phantom
clarifying.
follicles.
Oh, okay.
I don't. The older I get, I just feel like people need to have a reason to just. Maybe it's just a part of their identity. Like sometimes people just have to be upset about something. Like there has to be a problem with something. I don't understand it. I don't understand it. I will never understand it. And even when things are not for me, I think it's so bizarre. Like if I look at something, I'm like, oh yeah, like that's cool. That's not my thing. But do your thing. Like whatever. I'm a whatever makes your boat float, right? But you stay over there and I'll stay over here. And as long as no harm is being inflicted and everything's good, I mind my business. I go on my day. What is wrong with Ciara? Like that is a baseline for humanity, for all humans. Men should be independent, women should be independent. After a certain age, we foster and cultivate in children that they need to be independent. Like people have too much time on their hands. It's just too much time. It's too much time to sit and pick apart and split hairs and think about what, like, there's no issue. But like, and if there's an issue, like that's why do you have an issue? I'm done. I'm getting aggravated. Now that's so aggravating. That's so stupid. People are stupid. People are stupid.
Yeah. All right, you can go to your surprise topic.
All
Also,
right.
people are like, oh, he talked to him the day before. That was not a conversation.
So the surprise topic. I mean, since we were on the idea of Ciara, rapping and singing about stuff that she don't live, and Beyonce making single ladies while she in a relationship, I thought we could talk about what's his name, Jamont Moore. Am I getting that right? Let me pull it up. Jamorant. So his name is Jamorant. I don't know his full name.
Oh, Ja Morant. I was like, what? I was like, who? I was so confused.
I didn't grow up in ethnically diverse neighborhoods. It is what it is. I apologize. But before we get to that, a surprise topic. A surprise topic. Let me see if I can pull this up. Do you guys feel like talking about kids today? You guys know I love talking about kids, defending kids. I understand that a lot of people over here hate children. A lot of people over here hate children.
Wait,
who oh wait, it won't let me.
Sorry, who hates children?
I don't know. Like, who does hate children over here? I have no clue.
I mean, you posited the information. You said you know a lot of people hate children. That you know.
I'm so tired today. It must have just slipped. I have no clue what happened. Yeah. I don't think it's letting me pull it up. Let me see. Yeah, no, it's not. Never mind. Okay, so
what?
Instead, Jamorant, excuse me, what was his name? I'm so sorry.
Ja Morant.
Ja Morant. Okay, before we get to my surprise topic, it looks like he has been suspended, apparently after he was showing a video of himself riding in a car, thugging out to some music and holding a firearm up in the air.
I thought he was in a club or something. I don't know where he was.
In the club. So, okay, there were two things that I read. One, I read that there were allegations that he may have pointed a gun at someone. Actually, let me pull up the news story.
To be fair, I have to announce that he is not being charged. After they did an investigation, he was not being charged. There is someone twerking in the chat calling me gay. Don't worry, I'm coming out with t-shirts with food cake for you to buy, Jamie. Y'all have trolled me enough, so now I'm going to be selling food cake.
I want one.
Okay, no, I'm definitely going to. The thing is, these men have made me very okay with selling things. Not like It's like I was like, oh my god, this is dumb, but like, no, y'all are gonna be even more mad. Jamie is in timeout. Don't block him. I don't want, if people are attacking me personally, that you don't have to block them. If they're being disrespectful to anyone else, yes, block.
Well, I want one of those T-shirts. Let me know when the design is finished.
It's probably not gonna come
I
this year.
actual cupcake. I don't know if you bake. Like now I'm salivating. So if you're gonna do cupcakes, maybe and fruitcake. I don't know. Like T-shirts. I don't know. Think about it. I'm hungry now.
Yeah.
So you were actually right, Kay. It was, I pulled up the news story. So it wasn't a car. He was displaying a gun while he was at a nightclub, which prompted an investigation. And then the Grizzlies, who was the team he was signed to, suspended him for 2 games. And I guess a question that has been going around online is, why is someone who seemingly has a bright future engaging in behavior that we would think of as like thug, ghetto-ish? I don't know what y'all would call it. Just why?
I just look at it as irresponsible handling of a firearm. I mean, if we're going to talk about just ownership of firearms and things like that, I mean, you should always treat them like they're loaded. Your finger should be straight. You shouldn't point at anything you don't intend on shooting. Like, they're just certain rules, And I think that you shouldn't be. I mean, I've seen a lot of the commentary about him. I don't know, like you said, petty, trying to appear a certain way when he's clearly not like necessarily part of a certain lifestyle. He's rich and famous. He can shield himself from any type of potential danger. He can have his bodyguards. I mean, there's just no reason really for him to be in that situation. I think that he needs some people around him, maybe some, what are those people called?
Mentors?
Publicists? I don't know.
Publicists.
But he's just, doing a little bit too much. Doing too much for no reason. Why?
I think when I think of Ja Morant, I love basketball. I love sports. I even from the time that Ja Morant got into the league, I never really saw him as like being a part of something like really cohesive, like in terms of like the NBA culture, athletics, and everything like that. He's sort of, in my estimation, he sort of was on the periphery of things. And I think that he's kind of, he's at an age maybe where, okay, I'm not really like fitting in here, because that really is a culture. It's an identity. Like being an NBA player, that's like its own thing. And I don't think that he's fully immersed in that. And I don't think that maybe he doesn't feel accepted. Maybe he hasn't been, accepted. I don't know. And I think he's trying to find a place where, maybe a place where he can fit in. I don't know. No.
I mean, for me, this is typical behavior. I don't care. Like, I care enough to read it, but like, it's just typical. Like, it's not, you're not from there. You're just trying to fit in, and the culture is just sucking people up. And at this point, I don't.
You said, I just don't care.
It's like the fact that because he's playing at such an elite level, and he obviously has the status and the wealth, and the fact that the culture or the degeneracy could not be circumvented, and he could not evade. Like, he just, to me, that says a lot. Like, yes, obviously Cynthia's right, but also no one's impervious to the cultural degeneracy that is a part of the the subculture, or the I would call it like the cultural. Actually, that's bad, but yeah, no one's impervious. I think
once you're over a certain amount of $1 million, you have no excuse. Ignorance is not an excuse.
Exactly. I don't understand. Like,
is there like a financial gain? I remember, wasn't there some controversy about Rick Ross because he used to rap about being a thug and being a gangster, and then we found out he was a mall cop or something like that? Is there possibly? I mean, I don't see what the financial gain would be for a basketball player, maybe a rapper or a hip hop artist, but yeah, I just don't see why. Um, Maybe the masculine urge to conform to what every other man is doing.
Right. It's
Um,
the idea of
It's
masculinity, right? And who, like black men that gatekeep their degenerate version of masculinity, anyways. When it, especially like within rap culture, um, rappers coming into the game, they kind of know they have that playbook where it's like, okay, I have to acquire a level of like street cred, and I have to, you know, my name has to be in the streets, and that's sort of where that's the starting point, and then they pivot once they become successful. But yeah, that says a lot again about the culture, about what's, you know, cultural norms and what's acceptable, and what defines, I mean, like, what makes you successful in hip-hop culture, like that's mashup, like that says a lot about, that says so much about black men and their value system, and they don't even realize it. Maybe they
See,
do.
there are so many basketball players that we have not seen. Like, you know, I think it's pretty rare to see, people in the NBA posing with guns at clubs. I, can't think of many. So the fact that he's doing this, it's not just like, ooh, this is just what you do when you're in the NBA. Like, he's doing something that even people around him are looking like, what in the world are you doing? So that's why I'm just very confused as well. Why would you risk? It just makes no sense to me. Why is
it's
it that
Memphis.
for people to see you a certain way?
He probably don't even know he was risking it because it's Memphis culture, unfortunately. Oh, someone said, "What's wrong, Themis? You look annoyed." I don't know why I put that there. I'm not annoyed. I'm tired. And I thought I was doing a better job. I apologize. Let me prep up.
You're like, let me bring up this comment so I can
so,
explain.
like, where do you guys think the pressure is coming from? You said this isn't like NBA culture. Somebody said, I don't know nothing about the NBA. I don't. I think that's that group Ice Cube was in. I have no clue.
So I'm stepping a lot. I didn't tell you guys this, but I said it on a previous a stream I did a couple of days ago. I'm stepping back from my broad generalizations. I'm going to accept that I might be wrong, and I'm reaching out the olive branch to men. So when even in terms of like black male culture, I'm having a lot of the debates personally behind the scenes trying to figure that out. But publicly, I'm attempting to speak to men and try to engage meaningfully in transformation in the way that other people have been reaching into different sphere. The white counterparts are trying to help their white brothers. So I think it's fair that black men try to help other black men, even if you're confronted with homosexuality. But I'm going to attempt. So I'm staying away from broad generalization because I think people don't care what you know if they don't know that you care. I don't remember who said that, but it's not my quote. And I do care. I also think you should be held accountable. So I'm going to try to do both and see how that works. I don't know if that made any sense, but yeah.
It did.
Yeah.
Trying to fit into hip hop culture versus NBA culture.
That's
Yeah,
that was my take on it initially, because I just, when I see him in the NBA, he looks like he's on the outside of it, and he's so talented. Honestly, as a basketball player, I love John Morant. He's sick. But in terms of integrating with that, you know, the NBA culture and that identity, I haven't really seen that part. So I think, yeah, I think he's kind of reaching back into things that he might know or have been socialized around or feel comfortable around. or not even feel comfortable around. I think he's just trying to feel. Actually, I don't know. He's stupid. It's stupidity. I don't know what the hell he's trying to feel. Whatever
If
he's
we
trying to feel,
created,
like, it's stupid. It's stupid.
if there's a paradigm for manhood that is created within the Black culture, insofar as you've described it, Annalicia, then it would make sense that if you're part of that culture, then adhering to that is a sort of rite of passage. It shouldn't be surprising that Black men would want to, in an effort to be accepted, behave in a certain way. I hope this is not true. I hope it's hip hop culture in a very limited way, but I also see it so often that I'm afraid to say that. It's too many. So
I mean,
I'm not surprised because I think we've brandished a very specific kind of masculinity that is very detrimental to attain.
so you said you don't want to ascribe it to Black male culture. Earlier, when we were speaking about Derrick Jackson's now ex-wife, and we were speaking about how there's a type of conditioning of Black women in the culture, would you ascribe that to Black woman culture, Black culture, hip hop culture?
I would. It's very hard to delineate between that which is hip hop versus that which is the culture. So I'm going to say culture. I would say both are cultural phenomena that requires different approach. One doesn't cause people to die, the other does. And so the grace I can give to a Danae, um, I don't have for someone who is holding a gun and trying to be a quote unquote thug, because in doing so, a lot of people could be harmed.
So how do you change a culture like that?
You don't individually. So what I'm doing, uh, I'm assuming you're questioning what it is that I'm thinking I'm doing in terms of like wanting to help.
When we are describing this man as a suburban Black man who's has apparently everything going for him and a good career and no reason to be doing this, but he is, how do you, someone growing up in the hood or something like that, I feel like I can understand more, but how do you combat something like this?
I think you have to be someone who people want to be like. Unfortunately, whatever I am is not what most Black men or any Black, I won't say any, most Black men would want to be. So I wouldn't be able to impact the culture on a large scale, but I can hopefully talk to people one on one, and through sort of one on one interaction make incremental changes. I don't see me being an impact if I really take this seriously, because I don't fail at things. But if
Wait,
I take this seriously, I think I can reach individual people, but I don't think I can make a mass change because the culture is too strong. Like I can see, I look at what's happening to Black men ages 1 to 44. The leading cause of death is homicide, right? So if you look at that stat in isolation, you have to know, not even in isolation, even in context with white supremacy and everything, you have to know that's bad, right? So I can see the problem. So my issue is, how can anyone else see the problem? And maybe they can't, because everyone is trying to look at it from a bird's eye view instead of like focusing in on like individuals and trying to like engage with individuals. I recognize, however, hopefully your pushback, Petty, is that, well, you've done it for 2 years. This is the first year you decided you weren't going to do it. And nothing has changed fundamentally in most of the men who came here. And that's true. I don't feel like I moved the bar in most people's mind who came here, but maybe I didn't do it with the right heart. Maybe I was too mean or too aggressive in the approach. So I don't know, but I do know that I want to try, because I don't think I can wash my hand off my responsibility as a Black man.
do you feel like you have an obligation to your community?
Yeah, that's why I said I don't feel like I can wash my hand. I feel like the way that I went in on FD Signifier about him not holding people accountable, still stand by that. But I too should be accountable for my brothers, even if that means they spit in my face and drag me across the internet. I will try. I won't go out of my comfort zone. But if it is debates that I need to have, I won't go on people's channel because I'm no one's punching bag, but I mean, I will reach out and invite people. I'll figure it out. But by next week, I'll have a game plan and I'll come back to you.
Okay. Okay. Anna.
So I was just thinking, because last week we talked about that photo of Jonathan Majors and how some people were like, oh my goodness, the image is so harmful to the community and all that. Which image do you all think people would have more of an issue with? Like somebody irresponsibly handling firearms, or someone like a man irresponsibly handling firearms, or a man like wearing a skirt or even a pink jacket, for example.
You
Because
don't have to think. Wait. If that's not a rhetorical question, because we've seen that people were defending the man with the gun, and they were like, "Oh, he's a boy," blah blah blah, but they were dragging the one with the pink sweater. Like,
that's the thing. Like I'm not saying there is no commentary that's like, speaking out against the handling of the firearms or whatever, but it just seems like the direction of the commentary is generally different from what I've seen. Like people are more so like, same thing we were talking about. Like, man, why would you do that? That's silly. Versus, oh my goodness, this is gonna be so horrible for young children to see. It's gonna destroy that, like the way that people might do if someone has on a pink coat or a skirt or something. It suddenly becomes, oh my goodness, this is gonna be what about the kids, but then when it's something like this, it's just like, it's just a different point of view that I've been seeing. And I just think that it's interesting the way that people are worried about certain things in certain instances, but not others.
so they think images that would pose a risk to our life is seen as less of a problem than that which will pose a perceived threat to masculinity. Period.
Like, I just find it interesting. Yeah.
But okay, that's why when we talk about like, I won't even just say it's black men. I think even some like men and the moral compass that they employ to navigate through the world with, like that, it says a lot about the moral judgment that they're willing to pass versus things that they're like, oh no, yeah, that's okay. Like even things that we know are intrinsically or inherently like nefarious and just terrible. If like men will find a way to justify it, like they find ways, black men will find ways to justify Andrew Tate. They'll pop pleas for him all over YouTube, and it just says a lot about their value systems. It says a lot about the I guess the moral judgments that they or the standards that they hold society and people and behavior up to, which says a lot about the individuals, which says a lot about the culture. So it's kind of like, it's a lot. It's a lot going on, but it says a lot about a lot.
I want to open the panel for like the last 15 minutes, so we have 2 minutes. Before we do that, Prince Petty, what do you think about sorry, I definitely spelled something wrong in one of my comments, but I don't care. What did you think about Kidology video today?
Kidology had an amazing video today at the 1 hour, 2 hour and something mark. She shouted me out and said I'd be having the crispiest polls. So I now agree with any and everything that she's ever said. That's just how it is. Amazing video, 10 out of 10. I don't.
So she's an incel.
I don't think she's an
Well, you
incel.
don't agree with her then. She said she's an
I don't
incel.
think she's an incel, but I don't think anyone's an incel. I think it's practically impossible for you to be an incel, even if you're a man. So what? Now
But
what?
but
That's
the
your take.
Demas, look at how much positive effect you have had on Petty. You have done well. Petty is the real G because he could care less if you are a fruitcake.
Yeah.
Petty has not
Why wouldn't
Petty has not positively changed.
look? Why don't y'all think people would want to be like Themis? Fashion, sense, intelligence, money. Do
Period.
you really think they would rather be like the kid holding the gun up and like risking his entire career, or do you think
Yes.
they would? Okay, well,
Hey, are you gonna flesh that out? Because I actually, that's hot take.
No, it's there was a debate. I need to find this and react to it. The debate was about whether or not it was better for your son to be more gay or go to prison. And I don't know why there was a debate. It wasn't even be gay. It was like be more gay or be effeminate, I think. And I'll go to
What,
prison.
what
I'll
was
be
the
a thug.
what
Be
was
a
the,
thug. Be a thug. Sorry. Huh?
what was the question?
so it's a black community question that has been it's been like tiring out the black community for decades. Would you rather have a thug son or a gay son?
Wait, I
And
didn't even know that
apparently,
was a thing. Like I
yes,
thought
it's
everyone would have said gay. I
nope.
cannot believe. Yeah, no, I didn't know this was a like an actual debate.
It's
Like I didn't
I
know this
debated
was a debate.
I debated someone in the manosphere for around 3 or 4 hours around whether or not it would be worse to have a son who's feminine or have a son who engages in like criminal activity and is a thug. His conclusion at the end was, after 3 hours of deliberating, was they are both equally harmful. So the needle did not move at all, at all.
I'm
Wait,
sorry,
wait,
I did not know that.
wait. Before you go, Ultimate Enigma, please, someone put Ultimate Enigma in timeout.
Oh,
wait, wait. In the debate, the gay son was going to be rich and successful and happy, and they still couldn't choose between the thug son who goes to prison or the gay son who could potentially take care of the family. I
I'm
was like, period.
I've never heard this debate. This is
I
I'm hearing
heard
this.
it like
No,
last month. The first time I knew that was a thing was when was it? I don't remember when I heard it, but like it was very recent that I thought that I heard this, and I was like, I, I was like, this can't be real. I know y'all are lying.
It used to be, maybe you've heard this one. It used to be, would you rather have a thought daughter or a gay son? The gay son is not
you
necessarily
guys are just
promiscuous, he's just gay.
you guys are just making this up. These are
No,
not
this is not
real
made up.
debates.
This is a real debate that has been plaguing the black community for decades. I promise. It was
Decades.
when I was in middle school.
Look, I love your hair. It looks nice, but they might be a little bit too tight because that's not true.
No.
You said
Teddy said
decades.
since he was in middle school. It's been
Yeah, like this guy's talking about decades. Like, listen, you were in Pampers. What do you mean?
When I was in Pampers, I remember my dad talking about it. I think he was debating with my uncle.
No,
Um,
I didn't know. I did not know that on this side of the world there was that debate happening. I was like, period. So y'all are not even utilitarian. Y'all literally have no economic like you don't understand how to like succeed. You're just going off of feelings. Got it. The Bible have us in a chokehold. And that's not even biblical actually. Like choosing the thought whatever. Anyway, I'm done. Rochelle.
Okay, sorry, Rochelle. I just want one last thing about kidology, because I don't. Someone said something about FD signifier. I think it was Themis. I don't like the way that he handled her in the conversation that he had with her. It actually made me sick. I do not like the way that he handled her. I don't. There's something about him. He gives me the ick. Emotionally and psychologically. He's very intelligent, but the way that he handled her, it gave me a window into something more meaningful, I think. So I'm happy for that, but I did not like that. So
Some would prefer their child come out as R. Kelly than to be gay, and that's just the whole. I don't believe this.
no,
I
this is
don't believe
you guys
this.
are just trolling.
I don't believe this.
Go over to the anyway. Don't go over to the manosphere, but it's a real argument, and I guarantee you, if you spoke with someone on that side of YouTube, it would be a legitimate debate.
Are these
So you think? Wait. Let me just be clear. You think there are people who would say they would rather their child be like R. Kelly than be gay?
Oh, R. Kelly? No. Well, the thug. Well, they said the thug son. I don't know. I don't know what they would say about R. Kelly, but
are they grown men or are they like
yes, grown men. The man I was speaking to was 40
yeah,
or
okay.
50.
This is why black men are costing the government $50 billion a year. This is why. It's the emotional, cognitive, and intellectual or lack thereof investment in these debates. This is not real. This can't be life. This can't be life. Are you guys serious?
Go ahead. Yeah.
So, go ahead.
Hi, hello.
Hi.
Hey.
So I just that debate question. It had me thrown me off. Like, okay, but I feel like the what stems from like homophobia is truly misogyny. Honestly, just because like many gay men usually have like traits of like not the toxic masculine traits, plus many like men out of the closet, they can like live their truth and they're basically free to be who they want. But I feel like many like straight toxic men, they're like basically living a lie because they're not being their authentic selves. And I feel like that might like be the root of like a bit of jealousy towards like gay men, because like why, like if you're truly happy with yourself and truly happy with your life, why are you going after gay men? Like why are you homophobic? I don't understand it. If you're happy, you're not going to be bothering anyone else. So it's like there's something about gay men that like irritates them for some reason. And I feel like it might be jealousy or misogyny. I'm not sure, maybe both.
I agree with you, and I have that same kind of perspective with men who are very, very, very misogynistic. I think that men who are very misogynistic, they have, well, some, I would say that there might be like a gender or an identity crisis where they're kind of projecting onto women, because a lot of their positions are, oh, you have it lucky. Oh, life was made for you. It was built for you. It was like, okay, tell me you want to be a woman without telling me you want to be a woman. Like, it's like that kind of thing. So I definitely agree with you. A lot of, that.
Teddy's not trolling about the gay versus thug debate in the Black Manosphere. Y'all just don't. No, I know about this one. I do have the Raven. Thank you. Also Rochelle, right?
Yep.
Thank you so much. I always get it wrong, so I keep doing that. CJ, please come up. We have like 5 minutes, and I would dedicate the 5 minutes to proving myself to be a reformed person who speaks to men. Unless you want to speak to Annalicia. So if a man is straight, he's toxic houseway. Who said that?
Nobody said that.
Not straight men, homophobic men, and misogynistic men.
Oh, maybe people are conflating being straight with homophobic.
No, they're not the same thing.
You don't have to be homophobic. Oh, let me stop. I have a new arc.
Oh no.
A new arc.
Oh, and then one more thing. They missed also. Oh, I just want to say, don't give up the fight. I mean, I know you probably wanted a bigger impact, but it's happening slowly. Like positive change takes time. Negativity is the thing that happens fast. So
I appreciate that. I don't. I am not worried about my impact at all. Actually, with men, I just think I'm not that girl. With women, even in my real life, I think my channel reflects because like it's usually like white friends and black women, right? I'm not very good. I don't think I've ever been very good at making black male friends, and I've tried. But I think there is a like I don't know. There's a weird thing like the black men that I know only want to talk to me after they see me with like white friends, and so I don't want that kind of friendship. Like I don't know. If I don't want to explain it here because to do so would 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 shape the way that I interact with black men. It's not good. It like my interactions with black men in real life, I have really good black male friends, but like you know how you want a network of people who you can go to about things just generally. My network is filled with um, black women, white men, and a lot of Asians, white and Asian people. That's it. I have a couple of black male friends who are like really close to me, and I go to them and bounce ideas. But in my real life, it's really difficult because I don't know. I don't know why. I don't know why. So I'm gonna challenge myself to be better. Yeah.
Interesting.
I don't know.
Thank you for having me up.
Thank you for having us end on that note.
Thank you for coming up.
Oh no.
I mean, to be fair, when I look around me,
I'm sorry, my internet connection's going out.
yeah, fine, I'll do it. To be fair, when I look around me, there are very rarely any black men. And when I can't generalize about black men because the black men that I see aren't interested in the black community and black people generally. And I don't think that's fair to like make them the representative of black men because it's like very few. And when I talk to them,
what about making them the representation of upper class black men?
I think that's fair. I think that's fair. And it's not a good look. Like even when they're well put together, they're just like, what black community? Like, let's donate money and leave them alone, kind of thing. Also, they see me as competition. I don't know why. Because you've already lost. I mean,
yes, confidence. Exude confidence. Yes, excellent. We love it. I do have the surprise video. It is a minute long. Would you guys like to watch it?
Yeah.
Yes.
Completely unrelated to anything at all. Let's see what's going on here. There appears to be a child. Let's see what happens. Oh, you turn the volume up.
I'm angry.
Yeah, my face.
Angry.
Back up.
Mom,
Now.
I'm very angry.
I understand that, but it's time for you to go to bed. Good night. Come give me a hug. I love you. Go to the potty. And then it's time to go to bed. Okay.
I'm crying.
I see. I'll dry your eyes and then you go to the potty and then you go to bed, okay?
Okay. Can you give me a hug?
Come give me a hug. I love you.
Thank you.
Dry your eyes. Now go to the potty and then it's time to go to bed. All right. I love you.
I love you.
How could you put a belt on something this cute? How could you spank something this cute?
No one does that. What are you trying to? What are you trying to do? You're like Andrew Tate's lawyers. You're trying to.
I'm trying to set up y'all straw man so I can knock it down. That's what I'm trying to do.
Nobody does that. Oh my god, Eddie, stop! I'm about to cry. Stop.
I showed that because I feel like there is like a crowd over here that like to spank their kids, who hate children, who don't listen to their kids. I really love to see an affirming parent. I really love to see a gentle parent. I think people have a misunderstanding around what gentle parenting is. It is not letting your child walk over you. She established boundaries. You're not going to yell in my face. You are going to go to bed. You are going to go to the potty. Yes, you can still get love and affirmation. No, I'm not going to beat you like a slave. That's so weird. That's so weird.
I think she handled that really well.
Yeah, Petty, I think
Wait, Petty. Did you send the video where someone, or maybe I dreamt this, someone cut someone's hair as a child? Like there was a child.
Yes. So there was a black boy. His mother and father share split custody, and his mother put him in the father's custody, and he had locks. And when he came back, the father had cut off all the locks. Let me see if I can pull it up. And she was asking
No,
why
it's
he had.
fine.
There was like
You don't have to pull it up.
division because
That something like that happened to me. My mom was so mad, but by my uncle. When I was in Jamaica, they said long hair was feminine, and my mom, my hair was really, really long, and so my mom and her girlfriend used to like playing in my hair or whatever. I was like a child, and I vaguely remember, like I don't remember, but I remember the feeling, and I hate getting my hair cut generally, but she went to work, came home, and my uncle shaved all my hair off. Because he said it was too feminine and that my mom need to raise me as a boy. So that was right. I still don't like that uncle.
Do you feel like, can I ask you, do you feel like as a child, it would have been your place to say, no, uncle, I don't want to cut my hair? Do you feel like you should have agency?
No, I think I should have agency, but I don't think I should make decisions about my personhood. I think my mom should, though. And because my mom said, no, don't cut his hair, I want it that way. I don't think he had the authority to cut my hair. Also, he's my uncle. So, no, you don't decide for me. But yeah, I still don't like him. I've forgiven him, but
this was the father in this case who cut the locks. So still,
I feel like there should be a consensus with the mother and father, and if they can't come to an agreement, then who has primary custody? But
I agree.
Well, my child gonna decide what happens to their hair.
Listen, Petty, the thing with you is because you always come up here talking about, oh, you know, I'm the only one that looks. You were either beat too much as a child or not enough. Okay, because you had this attitude that like, oh, so you know, I love kids, and you
Didn't
guys.
we just talk about the relationship Black people have with their hair and how finicky it is? Why would y'all contribute to something like that so negatively in someone's childhood?
Republic rule.
Wait, hold on. What do you contribute in what way?
And then
Anna, do not take the bait with Petty. Let Petty argue with himself about children.
No, you can argue too, because you're over here talking about your hair was cut because usually the reasoning is stupid too. Your hair is feminine, or we have to go impress some white people. I don't see another reason.
Basically, your hair grew long, jealousy. Yeah, no. He's now struggling to grow his hair, and
what?
No, he's an old man now. It's karma. He's struggling.
Look.
And I went down there and I saw him with like ponytails, and I was like, I wasn't. I wasn't doing that. But like he is trying to grow his hair. So it's weird because it's now no longer feminine, I guess. I don't know. But you're growing your hair and I don't like that.
So
Petty, we don't care.
I just want you to acknowledge, for my sake, that if a father had primary custody and cut his son's locks off because it's too feminine, in your mind, the child has no recourse or right to agency because he's a child. He needs to listen to his parent, even if the reasoning behind the parent's decision is faulty.
What do we do in the case that he cuts it? Who gonna check him?
Death. Sentence him to death.
All right, girl.
Firing squad.
Okay.
That's just how it is.
So if your child say, "Oh, today I'm a dog," are they a dog?
Absolutely. Rough.
Goodbye.
Period. All right, guys. Thank you guys so much. We love and appreciate you guys. I'm actually energized for some weird reason. So I'm probably gonna crash in a moment. Bye.
Bye. Love
See
you
you on the
guys.
other side of this. Oh, by the way, we're still live. By the way, I've gone down a rabbit hole of watching Destiny's videos. His debates are actually really entertaining. Like really entertaining. And I have someone sent me one video in particular with this man who said, I know this man, but I don't want to say the name because I don't want y'all to find it. If I say this, y'all gonna know who I'm talking about. There's this black guy who is Republican that debated Destiny like 4 years ago. We're about to rewatch that. Maybe not this Friday, but maybe Saturday. Maybe I'll go live, do a random live on Saturday. But yeah, because that was a mess. That was a mess. I watched part of it, and we're gonna watch the full thing together. All right, that's
Amazing.
it. Any final words? Anyone? I don't care what you have to say, Prince Spidey.
Amazing.
No, it's not him.
Oh,
I
okay.
wouldn't waste my time. Jesse Lee Peterson.
Yeah, I don't hate kids. It's sad to see that not everybody shares that same sentiment, and I'll end on that.
I love you all. Thank you guys for donating. Thank you guys for your super chats. Thank you for your engagement and your support. Love you all. Love the panelists. I love your hair, Petty. I don't love what is between the ears. Like what this whole like we don't love kids. Like slap yourself. It's enough. It's enough.
Who said that? I never said y'all didn't love kids. Like what?
There's a presupposition, right? You're saying, oh, it's too bad. You know what? Forget it.
By the way, for people asking about the Discord, if you have signed up for the membership, just go to the community tab and the instructions are there. I will post the videos and when I go live in there. Annalicia, Anna K, final thoughts.
No final thoughts.
Yeah, you better I want to go. Bye, everyone.
Bye, y'all. Good night.